Human history, our epic journey. In the grand tapestry of time, our story is but a fleeting moment. Yet what a moment it has been. From the ashes of ancient stars to the digital age, from single cells to space-faring civilizations, this is the incredible journey of humanity. Welcome to the story of us, a story of survival, innovation, struggle, and hope. In the next 15 minutes, we will travel across billions of years, witness the rise and fall of empires, and explore how we became who we are today. This is human history. Our story begins not on Earth, but in the infinite void of space. 13.8 billion years ago, in an event we call the Big Bang, the universe burst into existence from a singularity smaller than an atom. In the first fractions of a second, space expanded faster than the speed of light, and energy transformed into matter. The fundamental forces of nature, gravity, electromagnetism, and the nuclear forces crystallized into their current forms. For hundreds of millions of years, the universe was a dark place filled with hydrogen and helium gas. Then gravity began pulling gas clouds together until they ignited into the first stars. These early stars were massive, burning hot and fast. When they died in spectacular supernova explosions, they forged heavier elements: carbon, oxygen, iron, gold, all the elements that make up our world and our bodies. The calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, the carbon in your cells, all were forged in the nuclear furnaces of dying stars billions of years ago. We are quite literally made of stardust. 4.5 billion years ago, our solar system formed from cosmic dust enriched by these stellar explosions. Earth emerged as a molten world, constantly bombarded by asteroids. Then water arrived, possibly from icy comets, and our planet cooled. Oceans formed, and the stage was set for life. 3.5 billion years ago, in Earth's primordial oceans, simple organic molecules organized themselves into the first living cells. These microscopic organisms would transform our planet entirely, releasing oxygen into the atmosphere and paving the way for more complex life. For 2 billion years, life remained simple, single-celled bacteria dominated. Then, about 2 billion years ago, a revolutionary event occurred when one cell engulfed another, forming a partnership that created complex cells. Around 530 million years ago, the Cambrian explosion occurred, a period of rapid diversification when most major animal groups appeared. The oceans teemed with trilobites, strange creatures like anomalocaries, and the first vertebrates, our earliest ancestors. Life continued to evolve. Plants colonized the land 470 million years ago, followed by insects, amphibians, reptiles, and eventually the dinosaurs. For 165 million years, dinosaurs ruled the earth while our mammalian ancestors remained small, scurrying creatures hiding in the shadows. 66 million years ago, everything changed. A massive asteroid 6 miles across struck Earth, triggering earthquakes, tsunamis, and wildfires. Dust blocked the sun for years, killing 75% of all species, including the dinosaurs. This catastrophe cleared the way for mammals to thrive. Our primate ancestors evolved in Africa's forests, developing forward-facing eyes and grasping hands. About 7 million years ago, our lineage split from chimpanzees. Early hominids like Australopithecus walked upright, freeing their hands for tool use. Then came Homo habilis, the handyman, who crafted the first stone tools 2.5 million years ago. Homo erectus emerged 2 million years ago, mastering fire, the breakthrough that provided warmth, protection, and cooked food that fueled bigger brains. They were also the first to leave Africa, spreading across Asia and Europe. For nearly 2 million years, various human species coexisted, including the Neanderthals in Europe, adapted to Ice Age conditions, and the Denisovans in Asia. 300,000 years ago, Homo sapiens wise man appeared in Africa. We had larger brains and something special: our ability to cooperate in large groups, united by shared beliefs, stories, and myths. We could imagine things that didn't exist and work together to make them real. For most of our history, we lived as hunter-gatherers, roaming in small bands, following the seasons. We painted magnificent cave art, created jewelry from shells and bones, and buried our dead with ritual and care. Then, 12,000 years ago, came the agricultural revolution. In the Fertile Crescent and independently elsewhere, humans began settling down, planting crops like wheat and rice, and domesticating animals. Agriculture brought surplus food, population growth, and specialization of labor. 5,000 years ago, in Mesopotamia between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, civilization was born. The Sumerians built the first cities, complete with temples and palaces. They invented writing, initially for accounting, but soon used to record history, laws, and literature like the Epic of Gilgamesh. Civilization spread across the globe. In Egypt, pharaohs united Upper and Lower Egypt and built the pyramids at Giza, monuments to human ambition that have stood for 4,500 years. Egyptian civilization lasted 3 millennia, developing hieroglyphic writing and complex religious beliefs. Along the Indus River, the Harappan civilization built sophisticated cities with advanced plumbing and urban planning. In China, dynasties like the Shang and Zhou developed Confucianism and Taoism and invented silk, paper, and gunpowder. In the Americas, the Maya developed sophisticated calendars while the Olmec carved massive stone heads. Then came the Classical Age. In Greece, philosophers like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle laid the foundations of Western thought. Democracy was born in Athens. Greek artists created enduring beauty, from the Parthenon to statues of Praxiteles. In India, the Buddha taught a path to enlightenment. The Persian Empire stretched from Egypt to Central Asia, respecting local customs. Rome rose to dominate the Mediterranean, building roads, aqueducts, and a legal system that influences us still. Roman writers like Virgil and Cicero created literature still read today. But all empires fall, and Rome collapsed in 476 CE, plunging Europe into the medieval period. But the medieval period wasn't entirely dark. In the Islamic world, scholars preserved Greek and Roman knowledge, making advances in mathematics, astronomy, and medicine. Al-Khwarizmi invented algebra. The House of Wisdom in Baghdad was a great center of learning. Muslim rulers built magnificent mosques and created a cosmopolitan civilization. In China, the Tang and Song dynasties brought prosperity. The Tang capital, Chang'an, was the world's largest city. Chinese inventors created gunpowder, the compass, and printing. The Mongol Empire, founded by Genghis Khan, created the largest land empire in history, connecting East and West. Then, in the 14th century, disaster struck. The Black Death killed 1/3 of Europe's population, but this brought change. Europe began to awaken. The Renaissance rediscovered classical learning. Artists like Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo created masterpieces. The scientific revolution followed as Copernicus, Galileo, and Newton overturned ancient ideas. The Enlightenment championed reason and individual rights. Philosophers like Locke, Voltaire, and Rousseau argued for religious tolerance and democratic government, inspiring revolutions. In the late 18th century, the Industrial Revolution began in Britain. James Watt's steam engine powered factories and transportation. Textile machines revolutionized production. Workers moved from farms to cities. Railroads crisscrossed continents, shrinking travel from months to days. Telegraph cables enabled instant communication across oceans. Industrialization brought progress and problems: pollution, harsh working conditions, child labor, and inequality. These sparked new political movements. Socialism, communism, expanded democracy as people fought for workers' rights and better conditions. The 19th century was also an age of imperialism. European powers colonized much of Africa and Asia, creating wealth for Europeans while exploiting colonized peoples. Yet it was also an age of innovation. Electricity, the telephone, the automobile, and airplane were invented, further transforming existence. The 20th century brought humanity's darkest hours and greatest triumphs. World War I killed 16 million as industrial warfare, machine guns, poison gas met traditional tactics. The Great Depression brought economic catastrophe worldwide. World War II killed 60 million, including the Holocaust's 6 million Jews, revealing the depths of human cruelty. The war ended with atomic bombs, ushering in the nuclear age and the constant threat of annihilation. The Cold War followed, a decades-long standoff between the United States and Soviet Union, capitalism and communism, fought through proxy wars and space competition. Yet, this century also saw remarkable progress. Women gained voting rights. Civil rights movements fought racism and discrimination. Mahatma Gandhi pioneered nonviolent resistance. Colonial empires crumbled as nations won independence. In 1969, humanity reached the moon, a testament to human ingenuity and determination. Medical advances conquered smallpox, reduced infant mortality, and doubled life expectancy. Computers shrank from room-sized machines to personal devices. The environmental movement awakened awareness of our impact. In 1989, the Berlin Wall fell, ending the Cold War. Then came the Internet, perhaps the most transformative invention since the printing press. Starting in the 1990s, the World Wide Web made information instantly accessible. Distance collapsed. Social media transformed communication. Smartphones put supercomputers in our pockets, connecting us constantly. Artificial intelligence became reality. Machine learning systems recognize images, translate languages, and beat human champions at complex games. Genetic engineering, particularly CRISPR, offers the power to edit genes. The pace of technological change became exponential. But challenges emerged. Climate change, driven by fossil fuel use, threatens our planet with rising temperatures and extreme weather. Economic inequality grows within and between nations. New technologies raise ethical questions about privacy, autonomy, and what it means to be human. And so we arrive at today. In 15 minutes, we've traveled from the Big Bang to the present. We've witnessed stars forge the elements of life, simple cells evolve into complex organisms, and apes become astronauts. We've seen empires rise and fall, the Egyptians, Romans, Mongols, and British. We've seen art and philosophy flourish in Athens, Baghdad, Florence, and Paris. We've watched technology accelerate from stone tools to steam engines to smartphones. We've seen human rights expand, even as we acknowledge how far we still must go. We've seen the best and worst of our species, our capacity for both destruction and creation, cruelty and compassion, ignorance and insight. We have built pyramids and concentration camps, written symphonies and propaganda, cured diseases and created weapons of mass destruction. What happens next is up to us. We face enormous challenges that threaten our future: climate change, inequality, ethical use of technology, and the threat of conflict. But we also have unprecedented tools and knowledge to address these problems. The story of humanity is still being written. Each of us is both a product of this incredible journey and a contributor to what comes next. The future is not predetermined. It will be shaped by the choices we make today, individually and collectively. So as we stand at this pivotal moment, we must ask, what kind of story do we want to tell? What legacy do we want to leave for future generations? Will we rise to meet our challenges? The next chapter is ours to write. The pen is in our hands. The story continues, and we are its authors. Thank you for joining this journey through time. Now go forth and help write the next chapter of our incredible story.